Hey y'all, it's Stacey with SouthernBite.com. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are making Paige's Tater Tot Casserole. Now, I will admit, I grew up never having had Tater Tot Casserole until I had a boss come in one day and talk about Tater Tot Casserole, and having a lifelong love of tater tots, it blew my mind that I had never heard of this. So that's where this recipe gets its name. All right, I started with a pound of ground chuck that I browned with an onion, a medium onion. Honestly, any onion will work. I chopped and browned those together, and then I drained the grease away and returned that to the skillet. To this, I am adding 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Now, I will say, Paige's recipe actually calls for you to add this cream of mushroom soup once you add everything into the casserole dish. Sometimes it's a little hard to spread, and you know, if I'm in the business of making supper quickly and easily, I'm gonna do everything I can to make the process easy, so I add it in here. To this, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm adding a tablespoon of ketchup here. I've got 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. And of course, if you don't have garlic salt, you could add like garlic powder and then just a little salt as well. And the thing that I think makes this dish unique is smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is also one of those things that I had never really used in a dish until Paige came into the office one day talking about it. And you know, it's a great way to add some smoky flavor to a dish. I often add it to things like roasted vegetables, things that I want to get that smoky flavor from. And I really think it's what makes this dish different. All right, once I've got all of that combined, I've got a 9 by 13 inch casserole dish here that we're just gonna spread this into the bottom. Now what I did is I did spray this with a little non-stick cooking spray in advance just to make the cleanup process a little bit easier. And as I say so frequently when we talk about non-stick cooking spray, before you put your food in whatever it is, after you've sprayed that dish, take a paper towel and wipe that excess off. It's a whole lot easier to wipe off at this point than it is once it's baked on. Now I'm adding about 1 cup of shredded sharp cheddar cheese right to the top. This is one of those dishes that isn't exactly gonna win the beauty contest, but it sure tastes great. And then I've got about a pound of tater tots. Now, Paige's recipe calls to use tater tots with onions, and I think that's a really great way to add some extra flavor, but they can be a little hard to find. So you can use regular tater tots too. Oftentimes, if I can't find them, I'll just use the regular tater tots. Now, you can certainly be one of those folks that want to get these all lined up in pretty fashion. For me, it's just about getting supper on the table, so I make it quick and easy. I've got a 375-degree oven. This is gonna bake for about 30 minutes. Since everything is already cooked, essentially, with the exception of those tater tots, the goal here is to get everything nice and melty and get those tater tots golden brown on the top. If in that allotted time period they're not nice and golden brown on the top, you can turn the broiler on just to get them a little crispy. Folks, you can find this super easy recipe by heading over to the website at SouthernBite.com. Right on the homepage, there's a Simply Southern TV section where you have direct access right to the recipes. Y'all enjoy.
Stacey has a number of suggestions for side items on his website if you absolutely must have a side, but he says this dish easily stands on its own. If you need just a little more for it to feel like a full meal to you, just add some green beans or corn to the meat mixture and voila.
This is really a fun recipe. It kind of reminds you of that joy of being a kid and getting tater tots. But the beef is the real star. Thanks to the Alabama Cattlemen's Association for sponsoring today's recipe. You can find this one and others at SouthernBite.com.
Once again, time has run out on us. We hope you'll join us again next week.
That's when we'll show you how the need to feed girls at a Christian summer camp led to the formation of one of the most successful farms on Lookout Mountain. I'm Mary Wilson.
And I'm Kevin Worthington. We'll talk to you then.